What if I told you a story about a man who once spent time as a street performing mime and go-go dancer who went on to help generate over $1 billion in revenue from video sales?
Sold $1.4 billion worth of workout or more.
P90X. P90X. P90X.
P90X.
P90X.
This is the story of Tony Horton.
Pump up a little bit. Okay, let's go.
This story doesn't just start with the launch of P90X. It actually goes back much further to a land before time.
Hello.
Okay, he's not that old, but we are going to go back a few decades. Raised on the East Coast, Tony first showed an interest in fitness in college after taking a powerlifting class, and soon after graduation from the University of Rhode Island, he traded in the brisk New England air for the twinkling lights of Tinseltown, with dreams of becoming an actor in the early 80s. Like many stories of aspiring actors, his path wasn't exactly straightforward. Just like everyone else, Tony has been through some very hard times, but we'll get to that. From street performing as a mime to go-go dancing at the infamous Chippendales. Wait a minute, the place where they take off their clothes while they're go-go dancing? If that's what it takes to get billions in revenue, sign me up. Like I was saying, he's worked irregular jobs like everyone else, including some time doing woodworking and waiting tables. Tony did whatever he had to in order to get by. Luckily, during this time, Tony kept up with his own fitness pretty religiously.
But, you know, I was spying on Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno and some bodybuilders at one of the gyms I was a member of, and it seemed to work.
Fortunately, one of Tony's odd jobs included a stint as a gopher at 20th Century Fox Studios. A gopher is someone who gets things for people, like coffee, paper, suits, etc. Whatever they need, you go get it.
Lloyd! Lloyd! Lloyd!
Kind of like what I do for Uscreen. Just kidding.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
But it was at this job in the early 90s that Tony ended up making a connection that would prove pivotal to his future. He became a personal trainer to an executive from 20th Century Fox.
I just started training some friends, and I started training my boss, and didn't know what I was doing, wasn't certified. I was kind of faking it, man. Before I knew it, I got certified, and life got pretty crazy from there.
And after a year of working together, this executive introduced Tony to Tom Petty. Yeah, this Tom Petty. From there, Tony's clientele continued to grow, including Bruce Springsteen, Billy Idol, Sean Connery.
Submarines don't react well to bullets.
And even Usher. Now listen, if I told you that Tony went from celebrity personal trainer to his own fitness video stardom, I'd be lying, because there are a few important steps that happened in between. There's one time in particular that I like to call his infomercial phase, where Tony got to exercise his acting chops, just maybe not in the way he had hoped. But hey, it paid the bills and provided more opportunities and connections to move his career forward. So he showed off an unflinching gaze for the infamous Thigh Master, dressed for success in a Nordic Track AbWorks commercial, and really sold his heart out for Shakeology, albeit a bit later in his career. Step after step led Tony to ultimately becoming friends and workout partners with this man.
His name is Carl Deichler. He was then and the now CEO of Beachbody.
Eventually, the two friends wanted to work together on a project, which led them to Tony's first video-based workout program.
And so we did something called Great Body Guaranteed. And for me, it was just another gig. You know, I was, oh, all right, I'll do this little thing for you. And he paid me some cash.
It did pretty well, so they did another one called Power 90, and it was that program that really ignited the wildfire that is Tony Horton. With the success of Power 90 under his belt, Tony ended up on a contract with Beachbody, and together they then made P90X, P90X2, and P90X3. P90X launched in 2005, and the craze was real all the way through the release of P90X3 in 2013. And it's safe to say that those programs made a few dollars.
Sold $1.4 billion worth of workout or more, probably by now.
Crazy, right? In an age of VHS and DVD sales where you had to order physical assets to be able to watch these workout videos, they still generated over $1 billion in sales. Yeah, Beachbody was great at marketing the series, but I think one of the major reasons for the success of this series is that Tony is just a regular guy. Sure, he's ripped and he could whip my ass any day, but he's quirky and funny and approachable. But there's more to the story of Tony than meets the eye, and it's not pretty. As the success and accolades of the series faded away, it became clear to Tony that change was in the air. At a time when online video was really picking up steam, it was obvious that Beachbody and Tony were headed in different directions.
But they were changing, and I was changing, and you know, like why did Tom Brady leave patriots.
After being together for more than a decade of successful fitness series after successful fitness series, billions in sales, and a great working relationship, Tony found himself looking in the mirror wondering what's next.
It's pretty scary at first, because I had, that wave had finally come to shore. And, you only can ride the wave for so long. And when you're starting all over again, and I wasn't a kid, I was in my 50s. And, am I still relevant? That was always the question I'm asking myself.
To me, this is where the story gets really interesting. It can be difficult to ask yourself these questions and figure out, where do I go from here? One of my favorite things about Tony is that he knows his work is not about him. It's never been about him. He'll be the first to tell you that he's the hammer, but the hammer doesn't build the house. And to me, that's a big factor in why he's been so successful. It's about the people he's helping. When you boil it down, Tony is just a regular guy who has made good decisions with narrow focus and relentless consistency. That's never been more evident than when he was diagnosed with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome in 2017. If you're like me and most other people out there, you're probably wondering what in the world Ramsay-Hunt syndrome is. Well, it starts as shingles, and for every 100,000 people who get shingles, one of those 100,000 people get it in their ear, and it usually progresses to Ramsay-Hunt syndrome.
Destroyed the nerves in my brain and caused balance issues and hearing issues and smell and sight and everything. It was pretty tough.
That manifests itself in the inability to walk, experiences loss of smell, taste, vision, hearing, and balance. And for Tony, he even experienced Bell's palsy for about a month, where part of his face was seemingly non-responsive.
A combination of physical, mental, and emotional pain that are a full 11 all day, all week, for months at a time.
For Tony, the weeks dragged on and on and on as the symptoms persisted, and because of this particular disease, Tony actually still has episodes of vertigo that may stick with him for the rest of his life.
A lot of people who get this never get better.
So dealing with extreme nausea, a loss of balance, and difficulty walking, Tony suddenly found himself down 25 pounds on an already very lean frame. But like other setbacks in his life, Tony gave his illness the proverbial middle finger. Tony put in the work to get better, rehab himself, figure out what lifestyle changes to make, including eating healthier, spending more time relaxing, and being more mindful. Coming back from losing 25 pounds in his late 50s was no small task, and yet, today in his 60s, Tony is more fit than ever and a better fitness role model now, maybe than ever before in his life.
I mean, I'm 60, almost 63, and I don't know what 63 is supposed to be, but it's better than 25 was. You know what I mean?
Our stories are more powerful when we share the shit that we've been through, because you never know who else is struggling with the exact same things. By sharing his story, Tony gives us a first-hand glimpse into who he really is. A tough, resilient, funny, regular guy working to help people by meeting them where they are. The P90X series met people where they were, at home. Today, Tony has his own fitness streaming service called PowerNation Fitness, and he's able to reach people where they are, which is still at home, but he's modernized the delivery. With this approach, there's no more calling an operator to order DVDs and having them try to upsell you on all kinds of products.
Would you like fries with that?
Instead, you can do his workouts by following along on your laptop, your smart TV, or mobile devices. Up until this venture, Tony had always been a hired gun. So he's learning a lot while building this new program, but he said they'll continue to work on making PowerNation Fitness the best it can be because they believe in it and they want it to be different. Resilience is the key to this. Tony's even said, in the past, I've got 23 failed businesses, from mouth guards to insoles to home delivery foods, but that's the life of an entrepreneur. You fall down, you get back up. That's just the way it goes. Ultimately, this story comes down to Tony being a man of the people, a regular guy capable of pushing all of us to do more than we thought possible, but also someone we'd be happy to grab a beer with at the end of the day.
I just want everybody to feel amazing and be super fit and be out of pain and not be tired. You know what I mean? So they can live a bigger life. I feel very fortunate, very lucky to be able to do what I do and make a decent living, and it makes me happy. The second thing is the impact that all that has on the tens of thousands, millions of people that buy into what I'm trying to share with them. Or you're walking through the airport, or you're at the pharmacy, and people have tears in their eyes, and they say that I changed their life. I'm the hammer. I just handed them the tool, and they did the work. And so there's great satisfaction in that.
Hey Power Nation, Tony Horton here, and you're about to take your very first step towards long-lasting health and fitness. Now, I've created a brand new program, and it's called The Power of Four. The four fundamental principles of this program are nutrition, exercise, supplementation, and mindfulness. Now, after 30 plus years in the health and fitness industry, it's felt like it's time to create a brand new program based on everything that I have learned over the course of my entire career. Now, I know you'll love them, and if you want to check out my entire program and the entire Power of 4 library, just sign up for the base or premium membership at powernationfitness.org. And as we say in Power Nation, it is your time to earn it, live it, and fall in love with the Power of 4.